Hello, and welcome to a stream. It's a stream. Oh my gosh. Hello and welcome. Hello, everybody. I hope you are doing well. Just let me do a couple things here. Let me get my stuff pulled up. Uh, We have chat. I need to pull up all the chat. Fred's giving me kisses. Hello, Sky. Welcome. He's a good boy. Freddy's a good boy. Katana, welcome. Discord doing its job. Hell yes. That's what I love to hear. Cuddlebird and who is champ? John Cena. Welcome. Happy Pride, everybody. Happy Pride. And I just gotta click a couple more buttons here. Sorry about this. It just I have to do a couple things, and then I will have my full attention on stream. So here we go. Save. Uh okay, cool. Sick. Happy Pride, Sage. Hello, everybody. Um, Flags look so lovely when they're lined up like that. Oh, yeah. Yeah, they do. So anyway, hello, everybody. I'm happy to see you all here. I wanted to go ahead and just mention, I made a not a Facebook. I made a YouTube post about, um, me taking a couple weeks off. Like, I went into this summer not wanting to take break. I wanted to maintain my stream schedule and my video release schedule, even though I was going to events and doing a bunch of stuff, and I've been very busy. Right, summer is a busy time for me. I'm sure it's busy for a lot of people. I'm not like the only one or anything, but definitely has been super busy for me. And it's not gonna be consistently busy the whole summer, but I just, like, when I'm going to a bunch of events, like, I will need to take time off. Like, when I'm like, there's a period of time I know in September where I have, like, back-to-back events, and I'm not even gonna be home for, like, almost a month. So, September looks like it might be kind of a bust for me. Like, maybe I can pre-record a couple videos to release while I'm gone, but, yeah, it's gonna be really tough for me to get things going when I'm not, around as frequently. So, I just wanted to say, I appreciate everyone for the continued support, and, like, I have a pretty chill the next couple months. I do have some events, but overall, it's going to be pretty chill. So, I don't think it should be a huge problem. Like, there will be some time off, but, it's just what I have to do. As many of you are aware, I am very dedicated to flow arts. I care very much about it, and so it's going to be quite a big focus for me. And like, I don't just do the YouTube stuff, I do other stuffs as well. I went ahead and shared my link tree in both chats there, and you are more than welcome to check that out. It has all my social medias in it. You just click it, it'll take you over to it. And if you don't mind, just go ahead and hit like on the stream on YouTube. That would help me get more people in here as we get going. I'm sure the algorithm is not entirely thrilled with me for taking time off. So, I have a feeling that this stream is not gonna be the most the busiest stream I've ever had or anything like that. But that's okay. That's not really a huge deal. Um, it's totally fine. Not a huge deal. Um, I just realized that when people give cheer bits or whatever, they can get like a message. I never noticed that before, but when someone cheers bits, like there's like a message that goes with it. So apologize to everyone who cheered bits that I did not read out loud. That's my bad. That is absolutely my bad. Okay, so this is news and politics today, and that's cool. I wanted I mean, we can talk about news and politics, definitely. I did want to mention the fact, it is Pride Month, and I think it's important for this Pride Month that everyone live loudly and joy is resistance. I think if you are a part of the community at all, we should be loud and proud this month. We should make it clear, we are not going to be repressed. We're not going to be forced into the shadows just because the political party that's in charge for the next couple years is insane and wants to oppress us. I've talked about this before, but a lot of what is going on right now is a direct result of their hatred of it, obviously, but they can't put the toothpaste back in the tube. We people are aware of trans people, people are aware of queer people, and we have moved past the stage where it's this weird nebulous thing that people don't even know what it is. People have a lot of misconceptions, there's a lot of ignorance, of course, of course, of course. But as for the existence of trans people and stuff, a lot of people are aware of it, and it's not something that you can we don't have the Men in Black, memory eraser things where they just flash you and suddenly you can't remember any of that stuff. So I think it's just important that we make it clear that yeah, you can pass these laws and yeah, you can try to oppress us in all of these horrible ways, but we're still going to be here, not going anywhere. Um I've talked about this before in regards to people that live in red states where there's this kind of internal dialogue you have to do if you're queer or trans and you live in a red state where it's how unsafe do I feel versus, like um like some people feel like it's necessary to move to a blue state, but if every queer and trans person moved to a blue state, then when someone is born and raised and is queer or trans, then they may have less people around to have local community with, and that can increase an isolation problem, right? It's sort of like a systemic level thing, so it's not really anything one individual person can do anything about, but there is a sort of an issue with the fact that polarization happens, and the more that we move, the more polarization happens. And I don't know if there's really a good solution for that or anything, but it is something to be aware of. So there's sort of some mental math that you have to do, right? When you live in a red state where it's do I feel so unsafe that I need to move? Also, sorry if I'm yawning a bunch. I'm trying to wake up. I took a little nappy poo before I streamed, and I sort of regret that. That was not a good idea. But I did it, and here I am. So I'm just gonna fight through it. But I apologize if I yawn a whole bunch of times. I am not trying to make you all sleepy. Let me open a window. Wah. Okay. Just get some ventilation in here. Get some ventilation. Okay, camera adjusting stuff, things. Anyway, yes, I hope everyone has had a good summer so far. I hope everyone's doing well. I hope everyone oh, also welcome Lauren. Happy to see you here. Hope everyone's having a great time. It's it's tough out there in the actual world. The actual world itself is really scary, and there's a lot of bad stuff going on, but you know, we got to get through it. We got to get through it together, and that's how we are going to get through it, is together. So, I appreciate everyone for being so amazing. If you're watching this, you're amazing. Unless you're not amazing. If you're transphobic or something, then you're not amazing. But most of you watching, you're amazing. So congratulations, you've done it. I know for me personally, I am happier than I've ever been in my entire life because of transition. It saved my life in many, many, many ways, and I'm very grateful for it. And so it's a really weird dichotomy where I am happier than I've ever been personally in my own life, like in my own personal little bubble, right? I'm happier than I've ever been. Like things are good for me in that sense. But in terms of like the world and everything like societally and politically, it's a fucking nightmare, right? Like everything is horrific. And so there's this really stark juxtaposition words between those two things that I'm really struggling to contend with. Like it's hard to at the same time feel like you're celebrating your own personal wins while also feeling like you're contending with the grief and everything else. Like there's some things I want to talk about also, but thank you so much, Ashlyn. Thank you so much for 5 tier 1 subs. You're you're wonderful. You've gifted a total of 100 subs to the channel. Thank you so much for that. You're lovely. I am working on some like emotes and stuff for the channel. I actually will after I get off here. I need to send some reference photos for those. But I am working on that behind the scenes. So hopefully by this fall or something, we'll have some more stuff going on the channel for people like emotes and whatnot. Um, Lauren says I keep having nightmares and panic attacks, but I'll be okay as one can be considering the state of things. I get that. And that's totally valid. I think it would be weird if you weren't having problems like that. Like I have problems like that too in the sense, oh my gosh. Ashlyn, thank you. Wait, did you give 10 more? Oh my gosh, you gave 10 more? Thank you so much. Ugh, you're a sweetie pie. You're a sweetie pie. So what was I saying? Oh, yeah. If you weren't having any like I keep like I'm sure all of you are aware that there is try not to waste the hype train. Well, I really appreciate that. You're really nice. You're really lovely. Um and also welcome Ari Boy to the chat as well. Like okay, so I'm sure a lot of you are aware there have been some recent folks that we have lost in our community. There's like definitely some bad stuff going on in the world, right? And like there were some people who have lost their lives recently, and it's been really hard to contend with that. Like specifically, like these are young people who have a lot of life ahead of them, had a lot of life ahead of them, and now they're gone because of transphobia, because of the hate in the world, and it just it feels so cruel and it feels so unfair. And I don't want to bring down the mood too much right now. Like, you know what I mean? Like I'm not trying to like make this the most depressing thing in the world, but like having to contend with the fact that that stuff is all very real and has happened and could happen to any of us really. But also like I'm I love myself now and I'm happy with my life and my life is better than it's ever been in terms of my own personal goals and personal happiness and joy and everything like that. And so it is just like when I say that it is a dichotomy, I really mean it. Like it is the depth of this duality that is really hard to contend with. And like I think you really just have to find ways to compartmentalize a little bit where you have to give space for the negative feelings, for the grief and the fear and the anxiety, like all of that stuff and the anger. You have to give space to that. You have to process that. You have to work through it. You can't ignore it. You can't downsize it. You can't shove it back in a way or anything. Happy Pride, Ari boy. You gotta go. Okay, I'll see you later. Thanks for stopping by. Um. Anyway. Yeah. So like. Shit, that really took me train of thought off of the. Oh yeah, you gotta give space to the negative emotions, but that doesn't mean that you have to give like you have to. You can like a lot of people when things are going like badly in the world they forget to celebrate like the wins in their own personal life and with what's going on with their own personal stuff. And it's hard to do that because you may not feel like celebrating. But like it's not if we okay, if we spend our whole lives fighting for our rights and you don't get to enjoy your life at all, then that is not a good thing. That is like we want like yes, we need to fight for our rights. Yes, we need to be activists. Yes, we got to do all this stuff. But you also have to find time to enjoy your life. You cannot make this you cannot sacrifice your whole of existence towards fighting for our rights because that will inevitably end up whittling away at the time that you have, and then you'll get to the end and you won't have had enjoyed anything. And so like it is a balancing act, right? It is a thing that you have to do where you have to make sure that you're still getting what you need from life in terms of joy and self-care and love and stuff. Elaney, hello, welcome. Life can be negative, but our outlook doesn't need to be. Yeah, I would agree with that. Hey Quinn, welcome by the way, and I see that there's some people chatting. I was legit about to die before I transitioned. I smile now, even though the terrors can get me sometimes. I'm really happy that you're here with us, Sage. Thank you for sticking around, and I totally get what you mean there. Happy Pride, Mad Hatter. Transition saved my life. I'm like 5 years off cigs. That's really awesome. I'm 2 years off of cigarette. Well, not cigarettes, but like nicotine in general. Um, 2 years off of it, and it was not easy. Um, right now I'm struggling to quit nicotine for my bottom surgery clearance. Nicotine sucks. Oh wow, yeah. I wish you luck with that. It's hard. Uh, it's really hard. I swapped. What I did is I used gum. Um, and the gum like sucked. Like it was not yummy. It did not make me happy. Uh And so it was really easy to quit because like the vapes taste good and it's like such a pleasurable experience. It makes it really hard to quit. But like when I started chewing nicotine gum, it's like, okay, this doesn't taste good. It really doesn't do much for you. And it just kind of kills the desire, which is sort of the point. Like it's not supposed to be like tasty or whatever, because then you would just keep doing it forever, right? Um, the poetry I've written the last few weeks has been actually scarring. It's how I cope, but it's not really working right now. Oh, I see you. I'm sorry. I hope you're able to find a good way to process these emotions. A way that's, healthy for you and doesn't cause you undue stress and stuff. It's it's tough. Um, my brother is hooked on the gum now, so I don't know. This is why I want to just wane. You're also on Wellbutrin, so apparently that helps. Yeah, well, I wish you luck with it. Like Ashlyn said over in Twitch chat, the first 2 weeks quitting anything is the roughest, but you can do it. And yeah, I would agree with that. I would say that the first 2 weeks of me quitting nicotine was a constant everyday battle of me having to remind myself over and over, like, I know I want it. I'm not gonna do it. Like, I know I want it. Like, the cravings are really intense at first. And I will say that every now and then the cravings will hit me kind of hard and I'll be like, damn, like would love like a cigarette or something, not a cigarette, but like, I would love some nicotine. And it what actually helped me, I don't know if this will work for you or for anybody, but with nicotine, actually, when I started cutting down on it a bunch, you know how like you start cutting back, your tolerance goes down. And when my tolerance was really high, I was like it does nothing for you. Like I used to vape 3 milligram nicotine, right? So I wasn't like super high concentration or anything, but I would vape it like all day, every day, right? And my tolerance was pretty high, so I didn't even feel it at all. Like none of it did anything to me. It was just like it was just doing it for the sake of doing it, basically. But when I started quitting nicotine and I cut back so much, my tolerance went down a lot. And anytime I went and hit my vape, like when you're like when you have no tolerance for nicotine and you ingest it and it just makes you like feel sick. Like, it's so intense, it's just like, "Oh, whoa," because like, nicotine is like a really hard-hitting, fast dissipating high. So for me, once my tolerance started collapsing, every time I did it, it just made me, like, so it feels so bad, like, it just made me feel terrible, and which de-incentive like, every time I would, like, cave in, like, "Oh, shoot, I'm just gonna do it." I would do it, and then I would instantly regret it, and that kind of helped me quit too, because it stopped being like a positive reinforcement mechanism where it was like, "Oh, that felt nice." It was like, "Oh, that actually kinda made me feel sick and gross." Like, I don't wanna do that anymore. So that helped out with me big time. I think part of quitting any vice is like if it and this is if you're quitting, right? Like, if you're gonna take a tolerance break, it's different, but if you're actually quitting, the thing you kinda have to do is, like, trick yourself into believing that you don't want it anymore. Like, you have to just, like, hit a point where you're like, "No, I don't want that anymore." Like, I'm over that. Like, I'm done with it, you know? And it's hard. Like, it's really hard. Um, Habits are learned in 21 days, but takes about the same time to reverse it. Cravings are normal years after. Yeah, I still get cravings from time to time. Chicky Puffs, hello and welcome and happy Pride to you. What got me to quit cigarettes is not wanting to smell it through your pores anymore. Ew, yeah, I get that. Totally get that. Let's see here. My brother is hooked on the gum. Oh, I already read that. It's funny, I was able to quit drinking and smoking weed, both intense addictions, so easily. Nicotine has been so much harder. Um, Interesting. Drinking, I've heard, is really hard to quit. I hated drinking. I don't drink alcohol, like, at all. Every now and then, I might drink, like, a 0.5% beer because I do like the taste of beer, but I don't drink alcohol, and it was not hard for me to quit alcohol. I actually, like, hated alcohol, so really easy for me. Weed, I have a medical marijuana card, and I have been consuming weed since for about 10 years, like, 9 years now, and kind of the thing about it is, like, I have been, like, almost a daily consumer of weed for 9 years straight. So, like, uh, that one is the hard one for me, actually. Like, weed is the thing like, I quit nicotine, I quit drinking, um, and pretty much weed is, like, my vice, right? Like, that's the vice that I've always loved and I can't get enough of, and it's hard for me to quit, but I have been, I'm actually right now starting a tolerance break. Not like literally right now, but like the past couple days. I just told myself like I'm not going to go to the dispensary, just let myself run out and try to just go as long as I can without re-upping. Uh so that's what I'm doing right now. It's been a couple days. I've been tapering down because my tolerance for THC is so insanely high that if I just quit cold turkey, the withdrawals are gonna be like insanely intense. I don't know about other people, but I get like really bad withdrawal symptoms for THC, like really badly. Makes me feel absolutely horrendous when I quit. So I'm really hoping if I just try my best to like whittle down my tolerance and, use like edibles to sort of like cut the cravings without getting high. It's gonna be awesome. It's hard for me because my dispensary delivers. Holy shit. If my dispensary delivered, I would be like that would be bad. Yeah, like actually having to drive there is a thing that like makes it easier for me to take this tolerance break for sure. What got me to oh, I already did that. Sugar is more addictive than most other substances. Yeah, yeah, sugar is like hyper addictive. Um I do have a sweet tooth, but I don't have an issue with sugar consumption in the sense that like I don't overdo it most of the time. Like every now and then I'll have a night where I overdo it um with sugar, but like I feel when I have too much sugar, it makes me feel absolutely horrible. So like I do have kind of like a low tolerance for sugar, I guess is the way to put it. I consume so little sugar that if I have 20 grams of sugar, that's already too much. And most things like sodas are like 40 grams of sugar. Like some drinks are, you know, Like, if you get, like, a frappe, like, if you get, like, a frozen coffee drink not a restaurant, at, like, a coffee place, it's, like, 80 grams of sugar or something insane. Like, that is, like, that'll make me lose feeling in my fingers. So, I honestly, like, I do have to be really careful about sugar. I had a ridiculous THC tolerance too. When I quit, I didn't sleep for a week. Yeah, I'm having trouble with a lot of things currently, with cutting back. Also, health. I don't know if I said hi to you, but hi. I weigh 120 pounds. Like half a beer gets me tipsy, one gets me drunk. So those half percent beers, those alcohol free beers that have like half a percent of those, I can I can drink one of those. If I drink one of those, I get really tipsy. If I drink two of those, I would get drunk. I've never had two of them, but yeah, 1/2% beer is enough to get me like pretty fucked up. Not like in a bad way, like fucked up in like a tipsy kind of nice way. But like honestly, I prefer that because I don't overdo it that way, which is nice. Like I get a little tipsy, makes me kind of sleepy, and yeah. Let's see here. I smoked weed multiple times a day, every day for nearly 30 years. Whoa. I quit during COVID for over 2 years. Problem I had was I can only tolerate indica. Dispensary weed is 50/50 shot. You guys actually advertise on the label. Oh, really? Is that true? Health. I wonder. What state do you live in? Because Ohio medical seems pretty not like that. You know what I mean? Like I do actually I am pretty sure I am getting the strains as advertised in Ohio. Um I don't know. I like hybrids. I'm a hybrid girly. I like indicas at night, but I like hybrids. Oh, I can down those. I just chugged half of one. Oh, nice. Um Insomnia, loss of appetite are common when quitting herb. Yeah, yeah. That's kind of what I'm dealing with a little bit. That and it's just like I don't know. Like my obviously the amount of dopamine that my brain is used to having is quite high compared to what it's going to have as I go through the tolerance break. And so it's going to cause me some strife in that sense where it's going to be hard. Like I'm not going to feel super motivated for a couple weeks probably. But that's okay. One of the funniest things is that like when I'm completely sober, I am one of the most high energy, obnoxiously like will-powered people I know, and, like, one thing I actually really enjoy about weed is that it helps me not be so insufferable, and I know that that's just it sounds like I'm talking mad shit about myself, but I'm gonna be so honest with all of you. Like, when I'm 100% sober, the amount of energy that I have on a daily basis and the amount of shit my brain goes through on a daily basis is really intense, and it's wild. Like, I honestly, one of the things that I've always enjoyed about weed is that it kinda quiets me down a little bit, slows me down a little bit, keeps me from, doing that, like, runaway brain thing where I'm running through some train of thought at, like, 120 miles per hour. Like, honestly, most of the time when I'm sober, my brain is moving so fast that I'm struggling to keep up with the thought process that I'm going through because it's like it's just, like, constantly noth like, all over the place. Um there's no genetic testing or catalog for what is in each strain of weed. Like in any state at all? That's interesting. Uh Labrac time. Hello, welcome. Welcome, welcome. Hopefully this topic isn't against POS in term meanings. I don't know. Like it's so I'm pretty sure I'm not allowed to talk about anything that's like illegal, right? Um I I don't know, honestly. I actually really I'm not entirely sure about that. Like I have a medical card. Weed is legal in Ohio. Like recreationally and medically it's legal and I'm like prescribed it. So I'm like kind of talking about something that's like I don't know. Weed actually made me do the brain sprinting thing. That's why I quit. Anxiety got so bad. Is that like sativas that made you feel that way or is that all of it? Because for me, if I have too much sativa, it definitely makes me do that. But that's why I prefer hybrids because it kind of keeps me like Like, I think if you have I think if you, like, consume too much sativa, it actually, like, fucks up your brain, like, kinda bad. Like, it's not good. All of it didn't matter? Oh, interesting. Uh, Indica, hybrid, and sativa are all interesting, different things for different situations. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah. Sorry, I've been quiet. I'm stripping my hair to dye it blue. Oh, sick. Oh, well, have fun with that, Katana. That's awesome. I'm glad to be like a little podcast for you while you're doing your hair dyeing. That's super cool. I hope it comes out well for you. I've always wanted to dye my hair, but I've never done it because I'm always terrified of like accidentally damaging my hair a whole bunch. So that's kind of where I'm at with that. Anyway, yeah. We can kind of get off of the weed conversation or like the whatever conversation if everybody wants because it I don't know. It's not really like super political. I guess it kind of is, but also not. CBD or hemp is actually part of the sativa family. Wait, hemp is specifically sativa? Really? That's really. I just kind of assumed it was like non-denominational. Like I just kind of assumed that hemp was just like I always thought hemp is just the plant material of the plant, right? It's just the fibrous material that comes from the plant. I dyed my hair blue last year. It was cool. Looked like a comic book hair, like Wolverine. Oh, sick. Sick, 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 sick. Anyway, yeah, so it's good to be back. I missed everybody. I definitely enjoyed a lot having some time off, but I do love streaming. I do love seeing all of you. It makes me happy to chat with you all and to have these conversations and all that wonderful stuff. So, thanks for tuning in here and thanks for being here with me. I really appreciate it. Um Yes, I hope everyone's having a decent summer. Things are getting kind of wild. Um, Happy Pride Month. Yeah, Happy Pride Month, Health. Happy Pride. Hemp is the non-psychoactive version. Well, yes, yes, but like I didn't realize that it had like that it was a part of the sativa family specifically. You know what I mean? Like I just kind of assumed it was just like non-psychoactive weed. Weed that's not grown for that. I told my doctor I wasn't putting weed because I need one vice to get through this national insanity. You know what's actually really funny is that I'm a big advocate for that. I think that like everyone needs a vice. Maybe okay, maybe need is actually a really bad way to talk about it, but I do think that it is normal. I guess I should say it's normal for everyone to have a vice, right? Like maybe you don't smoke weed, maybe you don't drink, maybe you don't do any of that, but like there are everyone has a vice. Everyone wants like coffee or sugar or something. Like everyone has a vice. And that's okay, actually. That's normal. That's human. That's like that is a very normal thing. I think really what it is, it's about understanding the risk of the vice that you're partaking in. And as long as you are comfortable with those risks, I think it's kind of up to you. I do have some issues. Like I will be honest, I get a little judgy if I see someone like if I see a dude with his like 10-year-old daughter and he's like chain smoking cigarettes in the truck with her. That does kind of piss me off. It's like, bro, your daughter does not have a say in the fact that you are like pumping secondhand smoke into her face constantly. Like that's like like if you're a dad and you want to smoke cigarettes, like I feel like you should have the compassion to be like, "Yo, I should do this away from my kids and not like hot box my kids with my cigarette smoke." You know. Crag, welcome. I was coming to say hi and saw that Ashlyn gifted me a sub. What? I hope everyone's well. Oh yeah. Yeah, Ashlyn is providing all of the wonderful gifted sub, which make me super happy. Very happy about that. Thank you so much, Ashlyn, for being here and bringing the hype and the stuff. And I said earlier, I am working on some emotes and stuff for the channel, some like special emotes. So that will be cool. That will be happening here in the next few maybe couple months or something. I hope you all look forward to that. I'm pretty excited about it. I'm not gonna lie. That pisses me off as well. Yeah, I just think like I don't know. Like it's like if you're gonna smoke cigarettes, it's fine. I get it. Like I've been around people that smoke cigarettes. I don't judge people for smoking cigarettes unless you're gonna smoke cigarettes in the car with your, like, 10-year-old daughter or something. It's like it's that's what pisses me off because it's just like, "Come on." Like, don't you care even a little bit about the fact that, like, that's horrendously bad for your child? Like, you know what I mean? Like, and it's setting them up to have addiction later because they're gonna have, like, weird nostalgia like, this is something that really frustrates me. I when I smell Black& and Milds, I like drool like, Black& and Milds make me, like, drool. Like, they I hate this, but when I was growing up, my dad had a friend, and this one friend, um, uh sorry, brain. So this one friend of my dad always smoked blunts. Like, he was always smoking blunts, like, constantly, all the time, and he always used Black& and Milds as his rolls, right? Um And so, like, yeah, it just I have, like, a weird nostalgic feeling towards Black& and Milds where, like, I smell them and it kinda just makes me think of childhood or whatever, which is, like, kinda funny because my childhood was not good. Like, I am actually not nostalgic about my childhood, but for some reason, like, certain smells, even though it wasn't a great childhood, it's just a weird experience. Anyway, Dispulsion said, "I always say as long as you keep the harm within and don't spread it." Yeah, that's kind of what I feel about it. Like you're allowed to smoke cigarettes, totally fine. I don't really care about that. Like you do what you want to do, boo boo. I don't really care. But when you start like hurting other people or removing the choice from other people, I think that's the kind of the shitty part. Like I've known people in my life that are like allergic to cigarettes, like very seriously allergic to cigarettes. I just got Freddy fur in my mouth, or maybe that's my hair. I can't tell. Uh, Black& and Milds are pipe tobacco and a mini cigar. Yes, for those who aren't aware. But it's what a lot of stoners do is they like remove the tobacco from it or they mix it with the weed or whatever. Return of the Queen, happy Pride, Leah. Aw, thank you. I appreciate that so much. If all of you wouldn't mind just hitting the like button, that would help me out a lot. Since I took a little breaky poo, the algorithm is super fucking mad at me. We are actually like Twitch is actually almost so there are 16 viewers on YouTube right now, and there are 10 on Twitch. And this is actually like probably the most viewers I've ever had on Twitch. Well, maybe not actually, but like it's quite high, like compared to my usual. So, yo, if you're watching on Twitch, thank you. I really appreciate you being here. Really appreciate all the likes. Thank you everyone for liking the stream. That's huge. That's amazing. Thank you. I swear I could smell my dad's pipe tobacco today. Oh, interesting. It's so weird how like smells like that are just incredibly like powerful for memory and feeling, you know? So interesting. Green Gorilla, hello, welcome. My dad literally had knee replacement surgery and is smoking inside with the back door open while hunching over his walker. Wow. My guy needs to take a break. You know what's actually kind of wild about that is that like cigarettes slow down your recovery speed. Like in general from surgery. Like you really like even if you're really addicted to cigarettes, you should try to like your dad should probably try to use nicotine gum or something or patches to just like mitigate the cravings while he's recovering. But it kind of sounds like he doesn't want to do that. Jackie also welcome. I didn't say hi when you popped in, but happy Pride and welcome. Happy to see you. Loose dip is not an alternative to pipe tobacco and cigarettes. Uh, y yeah, I mean, dip is kinda gross. Oh, you mean like trying to burn it? Yeah, no, definitely don't try to burn dip. Like, don't try to smoke dip. Has anyone like, is that a thing people try to do? Because that sounds like a bad idea. I'm getting my new cargo e-bike on Thursday. Ooh, that's so exciting, Health. Congratulations. I love e-bikes and stuff. That stuff is amazing. I ride an electric unicycle. It's one of my favorite things ever. Oh, it's so hard. Or not hard. It's so good. I was reading a comment, sorry. It's like hard to read and chat at the same time. Happy Pride. The last month has been hard. It has been hard. I did want to say that like I know I've been struggling to talk about politics and specifics lately, and honestly, it's just because things are wild right now. Like, things are absolutely wild, and I'm gonna be real. We are headed towards some pretty dark times, and I'm not sure that like freaking YouTube. I'm sorry, YouTube was being dumb. But we are headed for some dark times. There are going to be some really bad economic hits that we're gonna take, and I don't even know. I don't even freaking know. Um, it's gonna be weird. I don't know what's gonna happen to the rest of the summer. Like I have a lot of plans, right? Like I have a lot of traveling and stuff that I want to do this summer. But like I was hearing about 2 weeks ago, I heard some reports that we are like 6 weeks away from pretty much running out of gas um in the uh in the US, which is horrifying, right? Like that's absolutely horrifying. Running out of gas entirely would be like cataclysmic levels of bad. Um so I don't know if those were just like people trying to not like fearmonger, but like um I don't know, guys. We are headed towards some wild times, and I don't know. We'll see. I guess we'll see. Electric unicycle, nice. Yeah, I love electric unicycles. They are so fun. It's really like kind of hard to learn to ride at first, but once you learn, it's like a superpower. I've got over 400 miles on mine right now. And I just cannot wait to keep putting more miles on it. I did like yesterday, I think I did, or not yesterday, the day before I did like 30 miles on it, which is really good. There's a lot of bike trails in Ohio, which are really cool. Um y'all seen some of the store shelves? Yeah, we're gonna start seeing we're definitely gonna start seeing that as well. Happy Pride everybody popping in. Happy to see you all. This is why I'm retraining on my bike. Yeah, if you have like a PEV or like an electric vehicle, like that's good time for that because things are gonna get kind of wild here. Um, geez, running out of gas in the middle of winter. Oh, running out of gas in winter would be absolutely horrifying. Uh, I guess we're kind of lucky that it's summer in a way. Will be strained for price until the lanes open back up, regardless of how much someone says we have. Oil will be strained for price until the lanes are open back up, regardless of how much someone says we have. Oh, okay. Starts stocking up on dry foods, everyone. Yes, yeah. If you don't have a lot of reserves of like some rice or beans or whatever that you can just have to cook, you may want to do that because things might get kind of hard like to get um here soon in the next month or so. I have also heard the emergency oil reserves are running low. Yes, the US and I think the European stockpiles have been depleted to emergency levels. To the point where like honestly the federal emergency gas whatever it's called it's only making up like a small percentage of the amount of gas that we're using on a daily basis. Like we don't have enough gas put back to like the oil reserves. Like we don't have enough of that to like mitigate the damage being done by like the Strait of Hormuz being closed. Like it's not enough. We are not like China. China has like billions of barrels of oil in reserve. Like they have so much oil in reserve that like China is going to be fine for like 6 to 8 months. They can keep going and not really suffer too much with it. But we are hitting already insanely desperate levels with it, and I guess we're just gonna see. Um, Normally I would not ride my unicycle everywhere, but if everyone runs out of gas and there's no cars on the road, then I just kind of think everyone's gonna be riding their e-bikes on the road. Like I think that's just gonna be what happens. Most of the world has been rationing fuel. Yeah, that's so that is the thing. That is the thing. Is that most of the world, most countries have been rationing fuel and managing like the price of gas is going down where I live. Like the price of gas was like almost $5 a gallon, and now it's down to about like four something, like 4.19 or 4.30 or something like that. And I'm not gonna lie, uh, that's horrible. Like gas should not be going down in price. We need that to be going up in price. Like gas should be like $6 or $7 a gallon right now. And the reason why it should be that expensive is just so like less people are like people start naturally starting to ration if like you can't afford as much of it, you know? You like start making choices like, "Oh, okay, well, I'm going to go on this trip and not that trip or whatever." And that would stop people from using as much gas and then make it maybe take a little longer before we run out. But right now we are like speed running towards completely running out of gas. Speed running. Katana says, I'm going to boost and rinse my hair out. Y'all be safe and stay badass. Have a happy pride. You too. And I hope the hair turns out well. Black beans are delicious. I actually agree with that. I do think beans are really yummy. Like black bean soup is just incredible. Like name one other soup that you can make with that few ingredients that taste that good. Try me, right? Like, geez, it's wild. It's absolutely wild. Black bean soup is like one of the best things on the earth, you know? Potato soup? Okay, potato soup is also really good. Lentils are also really good. But you know what you all know what I'm saying here. Like you just make sure that you're getting some rice, some beans, some whatever it is for you, lentils, whatever you like, make sure you're getting some dried non-perishable goods. I think the whole trouble with e-bikes now is if we're actually about to run out of gas, since the bulk of our electricity generation comes from fossil fuels. Oh, Dispulsion. We so like for electricity, the infrastructure in the US is built off of natural gas, right? So like natural gas is how we fuel our like our electricity plant, right? The so like if we run out of gas, like for cars, that does not necessarily mean that we are going to run out of gas, natural gas for electricity because the US actually produces almost all of its natural gas domestically. And so that is we kind of actually don't have to worry about running out of electricity, which is also why like if anyone has noticed, like your electricity bill is not skyrocketing through the roof despite the fact that like, we're going through this massive energy shock right now. Um and that is kind of why. So yeah. Uh let's see. I'm hoping the 3C and D train line in Ohio gets made ASAP. Are there trains in actual development in Ohio? Is that a real thing happening? Sexy fucks, welcome. Stay strong and proud to be transgender. Thank you. And yes, yeah, we all gotta live loudly this month. I think is a great thing. Natalie, thank you so much for the $2. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Good to see you. By the way, the tech industry has a shit ton of problems. That is true, but also an understatement. And I know it's not, you didn't mean it as an understatement, but yeah, that is there. I mean, like, I have no idea what these tech companies are gonna do with these insanely large data centers because like AI is not profitable. And like the second that the AI bubble collapses and explodes, like what are they gonna do with those fucking data centers? They're just gonna like abandon them. Like they're just gonna turn into like old GM plants or whatever, where they just like sit there and rot. So I like it's wild. Fair enough, I didn't think about that. Yeah, no, that is actually one of the silver linings of the fact that we might run out of gasoline, is that like we will probably be okay in terms of like electricity grid kind of stuff, but we will not be okay in other things. Like it's still cataclysmic. Like let me be honest with you. It is absolutely cataclysmic still. Like if we run out of gasoline, like you do understand what that means, right? Like you will go to Walmart and there will be nothing on the shelf, and like there might be like 1 10 bag pound of rice, and like there are going to be moms and dads like fist fighting because like their kids need food, right? They're gonna be like absolutely people hurting each other for food if that happens. So like if we run out of gasoline, it's gonna be really bad. It's gonna be really bad. And that's why I'm telling you right now that like if you have spare money, if you have the ability to go to Costco and just buy, or wherever, and just buy a shit ton of rice and beans and other things, you will be doing yourself a huge favor, because then when that kind of stuff happens, you won't be one of the 20 people fighting some grandma uh for your rice so that you don't starve to death, right? Like let's just be realistic about it. Like we need to start thinking about things in those terms, because there is a really, really good chance that it'll turn out that way. I'm doing my best. Went into the women's room for the first time today. Well, I'm really proud of you. Congratulations. Congratulations. I hope that it went okay and that it wasn't, I understand how scary that can be, but hopefully it wasn't that bad for you. Yeah, they want to connect Cleveland, Columbus, and Cincy with a stop in Dayton. Well, that would be all of the cities that we would need to connect. So if they did that, that would actually be so fucking awesome. We need to invest in hydrogen, though it reminds people of the Hindenburg. Yeah, yeah. I mean, like, you know, we need to invest in nuclear. Like there are forms of nuclear right now. I can't remember what they're called, but uh there's this one kind of nuclear reactor that it kind of recycles the fuel that it's using, and it like converts the fuel that it's using into like like a recyclable I don't know. I don't really understand how it works. But there's a kind of nuclear facility that's safer, has no potential of meltdowns. It's like incredibly good. It's run off of like salt or something. Like it uses salt, as far as I remember. But if we invested in that kind of stuff, we would be fine. If we invested in that, if we invested in wind, if we invested in solar, we'd be fine. But we haven't. So we're not fine. Like China has been investing. Molten salt reactor. Yeah, 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 yeah. That's it. They have a very specific name. They have like a name. It starts with like a T or something like that. But um let's see here. Hello, damn Sputnik. I don't know if I said hi to you already, but the Pacific Northwest is mostly hydropower and some wind. Lubricant oil might be difficult for industry and freight trucking. A shortage is anticipated. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I don't understand why we aren't putting more money into renewable energy. Yeah, that's just because of lobbyists from the oil and gas industry essentially preventing anyone from doing any of that. Indian stores are great for rice and lentils, cheap and really good quality. Yeah, that is absolutely huge. Like, yes, if you go to Indian grocery stores or Asian grocery stores or fuck, like African grocery stores, like any kind of like world food store, they might have some really good stuff that you can get for like good value. while also being good quality. Natalie, thank you so much for the 2 super chats, $5 and $2. They laid off all their employees. The shit with AI as someone who is in this field, along with blatant misogyny in the stressful hiring process. Uh, I'm sorry to hear that. It's really rough to see what's happening with the tech industry. Like, I don't know about anyone else, but I've actually watched as the um sorry, my brain. I was reading chat. But so I've noticed a lot of the apps that I'm using, a lot of the programs, a lot of the stuff technologically that I'm using is getting terribly uh difficult. Thorium, that's what it's called. Thank you. Dispulsion, that's what it is. Yes. It's like a molten salt reactor, but it's called a thorium reactor. And what it is it uses like an isotope of uranium that's really, hold on. Thorium reactor. Let me just read it. It's a reactor uses the thorium uranium fuel cycle where fertile thorium 232 is converted into fissile uranium 233 to sustain fission. Unlike traditional uranium reactors, thorium is 3 times more abundant than uranium and produces significantly less long-lived radioactive waste and plutonium while offering higher proliferation resistance because the resulting uranium 233 is contaminated with gamma emitting isotopes that make weaponization difficult. The technology is most viable in molten salt reactors, which dissolve fuel in liquid salt, allowing for continuous refueling and passive safety features like freeze plugs that halt reactions in case of overheating. China currently leads development with a 2 megawatt experimental MSR in the Gobi Desert that achieves successful online refueling, while India is advancing its long-term strategy with the advanced heavy water reactor and the prototype fast breeder reactor, leveraging its vast domestic thorium reserves. Despite historical interest in the US, such as the 1960s molten salt reactor experiment and Germany, widespread adoption is hindered by the need for an initial fissile driver, like uranium 235 or plutonium, to start the chain reaction, and the high costs of modifying existing nuclear infrastructure. Current research focuses on seed blanket core designs and accelerator driven systems to optimize fuel burnup and waste management, positioning thorium as a potential long term clean energy source. So yes, that is thorium stuff. So people are going to kill each other for food. Are they going to come get my stuff if I have a food stash? I don't know exactly how bad it's gonna get. I tend to think that a lot of people don't have the sauce to like kill their neighbors for food, but I do think that you should be prepared for the potential that if people get really hungry and if people don't stockpile food well enough, that there may very well be some people who take some desperate measures. I think more likely you're gonna see people trying to steal food from grocery stores. You're gonna see people fighting other people for limited supplies of food in grocery stores. I don't really think you're gonna see people going door to door trying to like kick down their neighbor's door to get their food or whatever. That's just not what I think is gonna happen, especially because a lot of Americans have guns. So like you kick down someone's door, the chances that they have a shotgun and are standing on the other side waiting to blow you away is like monumentally high. It's like absolutely not worth the risk. This field fried me mentally. I'm really sorry, Natalie. Tech is it's so unfortunate because when I was growing up, everyone told me that tech was the way to go. Like, oh, go into tech, go into tech, go into tech and electric engineering were like the things. Yeah, were the things. But um I know people are converting their cars to run off wood smoke instead of gasoline like they do in North Korea. Whoa, is that really a thing? Holy shit, I've never heard of that before. That's wild. I need to look into that. What can a normalish person do in times like this when a person doesn't have the financial resources to properly prepare for the upcoming economic situation? Well, okay, rice and beans and dry foods, non-perishable foods are cheap. Like you can go get like I know that a lot of people struggle with affording food and like especially high quality food. But I'm telling you right now, if you go to some like international food markets or some like local markets near where you live with 40 or $50, you will be able to buy enough dry foods to last you quite a while. Like especially if you're rationing, quite a while. So like don't undersell your ability to prepare for like if you tell yourself there's nothing you can do to prepare for this, you're going to be one of those people that is not prepared for it and suffers the most. Like that's the unfortunate reality is that like think about it like this. There are people right now who are not paying attention to politics. There are people that right now who like their only indication of what is going on is the price at the fuel pump. Like there are a lot of people when they go out and they see the price at the fuel pump, they're like, "Oh, it's going down. This fuel shortage must not be as important as people are talking about. There must not be really a big problems here because I just went outside and I noticed that the fuel is cheaper than it was yesterday." And so that's how most people are looking at it. Like most people are just staring at the gas prices and eventually maybe a month from now, people are going to go to the store and suddenly there's not going to be anything there. Or they're going to go to the gas station and they're going to be like, "Sorry, you can only buy 3 gallons of gas because we have to ration it now because we don't have any." That or you're going to go to a gas station and they're just not going to have any at all. Um so yeah, it's bad. It's really bad. And if you're one of those people who is not paying attention, you are the most likely to suffer. You are the most likely to end up in a shit situation. We are all actually, in a way, a bit lucky because you're paying attention, right? Like if you're paying attention, you have the heads up that there is something potentially terrible going to happen and you need to like do something about that, right? And so then if you do something about it and you're prepared, yeah. So yes, literally my advice for you is stockpile some food, some dry foods, and I honestly, I don't know what else to say. Like maybe stockpile a little bit of gasoline. I don't know how long exactly gasoline keeps. But like maybe stockpile some fuel, like a little bit of fuel. Uh, yeah. There's yeah. Uh, let's see. I know somebody. Oh, I already read that. Uh, I did find one other alternative to Discord with notifications called Osmium. Wait, what? What's up with? Oh, about a week ago, I noticed that I'm getting notifications from Fluxer. So for people who are satisfied with the values of Fluxer, it's basically ready. Well, thanks for sharing that, Shadow. Everyone just seems to have given up. Like everyone's just on Discord still, and people seem to not have any desire to move off the platform anymore. So I don't really know. Let's see here. Uh, it doesn't produce radon gas when mined. Wait, what are you talking about? Thorium? Oh, okay. Um, Whole Foods is owned by Amazon, by the way. Oh yeah, if people don't know that, Whole Foods is owned by. Did that come up? Did someone mention Whole Foods? I don't really remember. Wood gas cars were pretty common in World War II Europe. Not as efficient as gasoline, but it works. That's really interesting. I am definitely gonna look that up after this because I don't know how I've never heard of that before. I had no idea that people were using like wood gas. That's really interesting. Would it help to get a rice cooker? Yeah, I guess. Um, if you like to eat rice and you like it to be easy to cook, rice cookers are pretty cool. White rice, black beans, lentils, dehydrated spinach, dehydrated carrots, dehydrated potatoes, salt, spices, tapatio sauce, tapatio sauce. I actually don't know what that is. That and multivitamins will keep you alive and stuff. Yeah. So when shit hits the fan, yes. So that was some good advice. Definitely like dehydrated food and all sorts of stuff. Smart. Crock pot, 100 gallons of water also. Yeah. Yeah. Happy Pride, by the way. Happy Pride, everybody. Non-ethanol gas is better for storage. There are actually tutorials on YouTube for converting ethanol gas into non-ethanol. It's really easy. Just add water, mix, and siphon off the gas layer. Oh, thank you for that, curious Nekomimi. That's really interesting. I did not know that. Um, Interesting. Tapatio? Oh, Tapatio. That's what that was. Um, gotcha. Wood gas was used in the 40s in the same situation we are now compared to then. The drawback is it works better on old carbureted vehicles. A fascist exercise today, we should too. Yeah, no, I feel it. I maybe raided gardens and fruit trees. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. If you have like an outside garden, for sure people will try to steal that shit. For sure if things get bad. Um Gas goes bad in a year. So you have 1 year. Ethanol gas is completely bad in a year. Diesel last year's I wonder, so how long does non-ethanol gas last compared to ethanol? Because like a year is pretty okay. Like you might actually be okay um with just with having like gas saved up, but like, like maybe it might be worth going and getting like a 5 gallon little storage container for fuel and getting like just like 5 gallons of gas and stuff like stashing that away just in case you absolutely need it. Uh let's see here. Any tips for MTF voice training without an instructor? I really want to figure out how to without damaging my voice. I get vocal strain really easily. Yes, I can talk about that real quick. I want to stay on politics as much as possible, but I can hit on that real quick. So, for voice training, what I recommend doing is like I want you to enter an explorative mindset. So, like, when you do voice training, don't like the incorrect mindset is like, oh, I need to have a passing voice right now. So, if you're thinking about it and you're like, I don't know, like, I really need to have a passing voice right now, you're going to get very frustrated and you're going to find it really challenging to keep going with it and to deal with the tougher parts of it. But when you if you decide to treat it like a play, like a state of play, like so you're doing your voice training, but you're treating it like a fun thing that you're doing. Like you're just trying to like I don't know, has anyone ever tried just like playing like trying to do voices, right? Like you try to mimic Mario or you try to do like Yoshi's voice or you try to do like Duke Nukem's voice or whoever, right? Like, I'm sure a lot of people have had experience with that, where you, like, try to emulate someone's voice, right? So do some of that. Like, find a voice and then try to emulate it. And now if you notice you're getting voice strain, try to find a voice that's maybe close to your current voice, but slightly different so that like it's within your range, it's comfortable for you, but it just takes a little bit of like changing the way that your mouth is shaped in order for you to achieve that. And then play around with that. So try um making really silly voices. So like try you know making your voice sound really weird and then like playing around with like the different kinds of weird sounds that you can make with your voice. Once you get comfortable with it, you should understand the range of your voice. Like once you get comfortable with mimicking and experimenting with it, you should be able to realize like, oh, okay, I can go this high, I can go this low, I can do this and this and this and this. And then it's a matter of trying to find something that you like. So, trying to find something that you like is a bit harder. Um, I would say that, like, what you should do is look for someone who has a voice that is sounds good to you, but is achievable with your current voice, and then just work on trying to mimic how they talk. Um, that's good. There are a ton of really good YouTube videos on voice training. So like if you don't have an instructor, I do recommend looking up a lot of that stuff because like fundamentally what you are doing when you're doing voice training is you're playing with your anatomy. So, like, when you're a musician and you play a wind instrument, you have this thing called an embouchure, right? And that's just like the shape of your mouth when you're playing an instrument, when you're playing like a vocal, or not a vocal instrument, sorry, like a wind instrument. Um, I mean, honestly, it's the same thing with your voice. Your voice is a wind instrument, right? So that's yeah. Um, yeah, so you just want to play around with that for sure. And try to find what works for you. I really do think a lot of people take it too seriously and they get really frustrated really quickly if they're not able to achieve a passing voice like instantly. Like, try not to be embarrassed about it. Practice alone in your car, like while you're driving somewhere. Because like if it's just you, you don't have to care. Like, you don't have to care how it sounds. You can do whatever you want. Really helpful advice. Thank you. Oh, you're welcome. Glad it was helpful. I have a video on my channel about voice training. It's called How to Craft a Voice in like 5 Easy Steps or something like that. How to craft a new voice in 5 steps or something. And in that video, I basically break down the process into 5 steps where it's like, at first, you just play around with your voice, and then you start to find a voice that you like, and then you work towards that voice. You kind of find your pathway to that voice. And then once you know how to get to that voice consistently, then you work on basically, like, once you know the voice you want, and once you have achieved it and you know how to get there, it's a matter of just consistency, right? So you have to consistently use that voice until it becomes your new main voice, right? That's the important part. Where like it's really easy at first, especially when you're doing voice training at first, it's really easy to like fall back into your old voice and then be like, "Oh no, I screwed up." And then you like give up and you like just kind of default back to your old voice. Like, I would have conversations with people where like I would be talking to them and I'd be talking like this, right? I'd be like blah 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 blah. And then I'd randomly be like, "Yeah, no, blah, blah, blah," and I would start like, I can't really do my old voice anymore, but like I would fall back into my old voice, right? And then I would like walk away from the conversation and I'd be like, "Oh shit, like, that was, that was not the voice that I'm going for." And I would have to reset. Like, you have to kinda, like, reset and be like, "Okay, no, I'm doing this voice." And you have to keep doing it over and over until it becomes habitual. It's hard. It's really hard. It's not easy. And then there are, like, after you get the actual voice down, like learning to sing again and learning to laugh or to sneeze even, even, like, to this day, when I sneeze, sometimes I feel very clockable when I sneeze, which is fine. Like, it's just part of it, you know? Or, like, if someone really makes me laugh, sometimes it's very deep. Like, if I belly laugh. It just doesn't happen that often, though. I feel like when I'm comfortable, I can sound feminine enough. When I'm stressed, it's harder to sound feminine. Yeah, for me, it's when I get tired. When I get really tired, I stop caring about resonance, and my resonance will drop a little bit. Actually, so the hardest part about uh voice training for me was having my head voice, because like my head voice, like, how your head voice, if you have a voice in your head, is the voice that you're using right now. But when you change your voice, it takes time for your head voice to change. So like there was a period of like maybe 3 months or so where my head voice was my old voice, but I was using my new voice. And that was the hard part. Like, that's the really challenging part. It takes a lot of time to get past that. And now I only hear this voice. Like, this voice I'm using right now is the only voice I hear in my head, which is actually kind of annoying because I used to be really good at like mimicking other voices. Like, I used to be really good at doing like Duke Nukem and all these other people. And like I can't do voices anymore. Kind of hard. Kind of frustrating actually, but it's okay. Voice recording apps are free to help evaluation of yourself. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I really recommend that too. Like, get like a little recording app and record your voice, and that will definitely help out a lot as well. Give you kind of like a reference. I know it's like it's cringy and it sucks to listen to your own voice, but yeah, it will help you, I promise. I promise. I pumice. I pumice. Thank you everybody for liking the YouTube stream. It's definitely helping bring people here. I know the algorithm is definitely mad at me. I'm sorry for having to take a break. But I did have to take a break. So yeah. I hate the fact that I can rap like Corpse. I don't know who this Corpse is that you're speaking of, but yeah. I think honestly, I think it's kind of cool. Like a lot of trans people have a lot of range with their voice. Like they can do, like kind of both genders of voices. And I think that's cool. Oh my gosh, my throat. Who is this? Fran Drescher. Who is that? I don't recognize the name. I'm googling it. Googling it. Who did she who did she play? The nanny? I don't recognize any of these. Uh, Living with Fran. Oh, Hotel Transylvania. Okay. Okay. She starred in it. Oh, okay. Interesting. Well, anyway. Non-ethanol gas stays usable for years with good storage, especially with stabilizer. Most I've done is 5 years. Ethanol gas lasts 6 months to a year because the alcohol pulls in water from the air. Oh, okay, cool, cool, cool. Yeah, there was some people earlier talking about that. And yeah, it seems like if you want to prepare for it, I think probably a smart thing to do would be to convert like not a lot, like maybe 5-10 gallons of ethanol gas, convert it to non-ethanol gas, and put a stabilizer in it, and store that with good storage. Like that might be like a good move for people. Especially if you have like appliances that run on gas. Like if you have like a lawnmower or whatever that runs on gas. First of all, I would recommend replacing that. If you have the ability, I would recommend selling, like, before things get bad, try to sell your gas mower for cheap and then get an electric mower. Like, I got an electric mower and it was worth it actually. I think that it's way cheaper to run. So there's that. It's definitely cheaper to run. It's quieter too. Like actually, like that's one of my favorite things about electric appliances, like mowers and stuff like that, is that they're like way quieter. And like honestly, sound pollution from lawnmowers is one of the things that I hate most in this world. I get so annoyed by people that have their stupid fucking lawnmowers going all goddamn day. People that mow their lawn like twice a week, like come on now. Like we need to get over that. Anyway. Yeah. Corpse is a guy who doesn't show his face. He got stomach acid on his vocals, which is why his voice is so deep. Oh, okay. Gotcha. Gotcha, gotcha. 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 Well, anyway, yeah, I'm like really hoping we don't run out of gasoline. I'm like really hoping that doesn't happen, but I'm not gonna lie to all of you. It's not looking great. It's not looking super stupendous. Like, no one's preparing for the inevitable stuff. Trump keeps thinking that he can just like make a truth social post and somehow convince Iran to open up the Strait of Hormuz or whatever. But that is just like not gonna fucking happen. Like that is so dumb. And it kind of seems like that's his only strategy, really. So dude, I don't know. Like, might we see some kind of revolutionary thing happen if we run out of gas in America? Like, maybe, honestly. Like, I think it's like the timing of it is incredible, right? Like, we are in summer. Like, this is like full swing summer. So now everyone like has plans and traveling and stuff like that. Um, do you still think America, or do you think America is still the land of the free if we are all going to bike everywhere? Well, I think the American propaganda land of the free shit, I think that is like really dumb and cringy and like obviously not true at any like not really true at all. But like I look, okay, how do I say this? I think it would actually be good if we stopped using cars and if we like obviously if overnight everyone's cars became useless and we all had to start using electric vehicles, like either electric cars or electric bikes or normal bikes or whatever. Like, obviously, if that happens overnight, that's really bad. And that's like catastrophic. And that's like societally insanely destructive. But honestly, this is why I think walkable cities are really important. Because like in the event that like something cataclysmic happens to the gas supply lines, if you don't have sidewalks, if you don't have bike lanes, if you don't have infrastructure put up for that stuff, then everyone is just going to be using the roads um to get places, to like walking down roads and riding bikes down roads and stuff like that, which is doable, but not really, they're not constructed for that kind of use. And also like cities are not constructed okay. Most cities are not constructed to be walkable. So like if you live in Chicago or something, like yeah, sure, you might be able to ride your bike to the local grocery store that's like, you know, wherever it is, and you might be able to ride it to wherever you need to go. But if you live like where I live in Ohio, we do not have a lot of infrastructure set up for that. So like with my electric unicycle, I'll actually uniquely be okay because my electric unicycle, I mean, I get like 60 to 80 miles of range off of a single charge. It takes like an hour and a half to charge. So like I can get pretty much anywhere I want on my electric unicycle. Like I can go anywhere the fuck I want, right? But it's just that like the infrastructure isn't really well developed for that. And so like if you're rollerblading or if you're using like a manual bike where you're like pedaling everywhere, it's gonna get really challenging really quickly, especially if you're not like in shape and ready for it. Like if you haven't like biked in a long time, and like, you know, like maybe it would be a good idea to like start preparing, like practicing for the potentiality that that might be a thing that you have to do. Um, I think that that's smart. I think it's smart. Last I heard, gas won't come down to under $4 till 2032. Wolfie, thanks for coming into the chat here. Welcome. I'm not gonna lie. I think oil and gas is dead. Like, look, the industry fundamentally functions based on like there are economic rules that like affect things that are going on, right? And one of those things is the fact that like we like look, okay, oil and gas is already more expensive than renewables. Everything that's happened with the Iran war has already made oil and gas substantially even more expensive than renewables. So renewables, as the technology gets better, renewables are going to get cheaper and cheaper and cheaper and better and better and better and more and more efficient, right? And oil and gas is not going to get more efficient. It's not going to get better. And as a matter of fact, it's going to get more and more expensive, which is going to increase the margin of cost between the two. And like let's be real here. We live in a capitalistic society, and while the lobbyists might be powerful and while those things may be powerful, you cannot stop market changes at a grand scale like that. Like you can like the oil industry can try to like uh push back the deadline. Like they can try to like prevent renewables from being funded for, I don't know, maybe 10, 15, 20 more years or something. But I'm gonna be honest, like we are fucking like the oil and gas industry is kind of cooked. The US produces oil and refines gas, so I doubt we run out completely, but high process prices, localized shortages might be possible. I'm more concerned about helium and fertilizer. Okay, well, obviously with helium, food like obviously with nitrogen and helium and all that stuff. So like medical stuff is going to get more expensive, food is going to get more expensive, and there will be supply issues with that. Like that is obviously true. That is like a thing that we have to deal with. But also, I think that it is a little bit like okay, with natural gas, yes, we produce natural gas. We can refine it and we can like we can do the stuff with that. But you would be mistaken if you think that we have the infrastructure necessary to handle all of the gas refining and everything that we would need for the whole country right here in the US. Like, yes, we have a lot of oil, and yes, we can pump that oil up, and yes, we have some refineries, but we do not have we do not have the production capabilities to be able to maintain our own economy while producing every bit of gas and oil that we need domestically. Like that is like not really possible, and especially because that requires a ramp up period, and we are not um we will not get like we don't have enough time. Like we would have had to, and like we would need to be investing millions and millions and millions and millions, like probably trillions and billions and trillions of dollars into infrastructure there that we will end up not using, right? Like if you pump a bunch of money into refining oil and gas and all this other stuff, like you're pumping money into a dying industry. Like you're pumping money into something that we need to be moving away from. And so like fundamentally, I think the only rational decision is to move away from oil and gas as much as possible. As much as possible. Of course, you can still have domestic supply, and of course, you can still refine it. Of course, you can still do all that. But putting more money into that than you are into building infrastructure for renewables, which is what we're currently doing as a country, is probably one of the most insane moves I've ever seen a country do. Like, insane. Someone in the chat here, Nicola Johnson says, to be honest, being trans and out and proud will get you killed. Best not to tell people, safer that way. There is legitimately some, there is legitimate danger that has to do with being trans and being out and being all that stuff. And I have talked before about how some people you have to recognize how safe you are, and you have to like have an honest conversation with yourself about what's possible for you in terms of being out and being, uh, you know, living your truth. But for a lot of people, being out and proud will not get you killed. Actually, for the majority of trans people, being out and proud will not get you killed. So you saying that in my chat here to me is kind of really shitty. I think that you are fear mongering, and I think that that's like really inappropriate for you to do that. Like coming in here and being like, actually, being trans is like gonna get you murdered. Like I think that's like absolutely disgusting, for you to do that. And I would ask you to check yourself before you wreck yourself, because that is like super not chill. There are people that hate crime, us, right? Like hate crimes are an issue, and coming in here and fear mongering about that, a very real issue, and making people feel like it's gonna happen to them, that's really fucked up. That is super fucked up. How many of you are in Iraq? I'm stuck here. Uh, that sounds um probably not great. Um, are you like an American citizen? You're like stuck in Iraq somehow? The fertilizer issue is a non-issue with the relaxed regulation, like bringing DDT back. Well, what does that mean, Ashlyn? I don't know what DDT is. I would be curious to know more about this DDT. Also, like, I do think that 6 minutes ago, I don't know how to say it. Le Simeon. I'm not sure how to say that. Thank you so much for the follow on Twitch. That's really nice of you. I appreciate that very much. Thank you. Thank you. Um, let me look this up. Okay. But DDT developed as an insecticide. Became infamous for its environmental impact. Uh, uh, oh, sick. Oh my god. Yeah, so DDT sounds like pretty toxic to humans. Like it sounds pretty fucking terrible. And we should not be using it. So it's fucking awesome that they're trying to bring that back. That's cool. Love that. When was it banned? Let's see. Oh, sick. Perhaps the greatest danger from DDT is that its extensive use in farm areas is most likely to upset the natural balances, not only killing beneficial insects in great number, but by bringing about the death of fish, birds, and other forms of wildlife, either by their feeding on the insects killed by the poison or by directly ingesting it. Sick! So sick. That's amazing. I love that. Recently got into an argument with someone trying to defend capitalism. I swear to God, reading his comments made me realize it wasn't worth the effort. I admit economics is a bit of a blind spot for me though. Well, like, okay, I know enough about I know enough to know neoliberalism doesn't help anyone except the ultra wealthy. Yeah, exactly. Um, yeah, exactly. Uh Look, like there are definitely some people that are not good in that like are not worth arguing with. Like, if you read someone's comment and it's like, Jesus Christ, like you're so off base. Like, you're not going to be able to educate and bring someone up on a topic and like you might see a comment like that and be like, I can fix them. But let me be honest with you, you cannot fix them. You cannot fix them. So DDT is an endocrine disruptor, which is really bad. It is considered likely to be a human carcinogen. Majority of studies suggest it's not directly genotoxic. Uh, let's see. Classified as moderately toxic, moderately hazardous, based on rat studies. Indirect exposure is considered relatively non-toxic. High dose exposure can affect on animals, cause headaches, tremors, convulsions. Single dose a day is seen to have tremors, hyperactivity, or a hunched appearance. Jesus Christ. Oh my gosh. Chronic toxicity. Oh boy, this is cool. I'm so excited. So where's the part where we're bringing this back in the Wikipedia page or whatever? Yeah, whatever. I don't want to. I don't want to read more about that. They used to use it for mosquito control. Yeah, that's what it seems like. Let's see. I read that. DDT is also not a fertilizer. Sure, you won't have bugs eating the crops, but you'll have less weaker crops without fertilizer. Yeah, it doesn't really sound like a good solution to the problem. Fred, you gotta get off my chair, buddy. Gotta get off my chair. Gotta get off my chair. All right. My mom and her brothers used to play in the mist behind the DDT trucks in Virginia. They drive away spraying it into the air to kill mosquitoes. Oh my lord. Uh, I love how humans are just like, "Hey, you see this poison? Let's just, like, pump that into the air and all over the food we're gonna eat." That's probably good, right? It's killing all of this stuff. Isn't that awesome? Let's spray that on our food. This thing that's killing all of the stuff, let's put that on our food. That sounds like a great idea. It's like back in the day when kids used to, like, crack open thermometers and just play with, like, raw mercury, you know? Just in their hands, just like, "Ooh, look at it. So fun." I lived in a great time of this planet's history. There are talks of bringing things back that was banned, is why I brought it. Wait, uh oh, okay. I didn't see anything about it specifically being brought back, but I'm sure it probably well, someone said it's unbanned, so it just gives more people cancer. Yeah, yeah. Um, oh my gosh, a friend of yours from the United Kingdom is stuck in a psych ward due to transphobia? Oh, Jesus Christ. The UK is so bad. God, the UK is so bad. Genuinely, I'm so sorry for all of my trans brothers and sisters and my non-binary friends that live in the UK. I am so fucking sorry. I am so fucking sorry. That's it's fucking horrible over there. And like it's bad in the US, but it's I mean the UK is fucked. Like so fucked. It was the latchkey area. Good times. You're talking about my childhood with all the atrocious things you've heard of. Yeah, no, I get it. And like the lead and gasoline and all this stuff that kind of caused problems for people. Yeah, it's unfortunate. Andrew, welcome. Good evening. I wish she would go to Ireland. She'd be a lot safer there than anywhere in the UK. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Ireland would definitely be a lot better than the UK. That is very true. Very, very true. Um, ugh. Yeah, so I mean, like, as we move forward, we're gonna. I mean, I feel like a lot of the conversation is gonna revolve around the Iran war and the energy crisis that's happening because of it and everything else. Um, I mean, it's clear that like all of this stuff has just been market manipulation for the Trump administration, you know? Like this whole thing, like everything that they've been doing is essentially just an opportunity for them to keep getting the market to go up and down so that they can keep cashing in and buying and cashing out and buying and cashing out and buying and cashing out. And unfortunately, like I mean, like, you know, if you're looking at like, let me just put it like this. If you're watching Trump's Truth Social post as an indicator of what's going on, you need to stop doing that. Like, you really need to just realize that every single thing that Trump is saying is like a lie. Like, none of these negotiations are happening. None of this shit is happening. Like, there is absolutely nothing happening behind the scenes other than Trump fiddling his fingers on his Truth Social. Like, there's no negotiation happening. There's no anything happening. Trump keeps saying, "Oh, we're close to a deal," and then, "Oh, we're not going to reach a deal." He just keeps doing that over and over so that his friends can make a shit ton of money, and a shit ton of money. Um, and yeah, so I just want to be very clear about that. If you're trying, the best way to tell when Trump is lying is his lips move. Yeah, it's his lips move, or he types something, or and anything that he anything that he does is a lie. So I just want you all to be aware of that. That like there's a facade happening right now, and it makes it seem like, oh, maybe there will be a solution. Maybe there will be a solution. No, the Iran is incentivized to make this hurt as much as possible for the United States. Actually, as a matter of fact, it is like all of this is a huge waste of time for Iran if there are not significant like damages done to the United States empire. Like if if they are not able to uh like bring America to its knees, then we will keep fucking with them. We will keep doing this bullshit over and over and over. Like the reason why Iran wanted nukes was basically just to keep us from fucking with them, right? Like it's a deterrent. Look at North Korea. North Korea is a shithole of a country, but like America kind of keeps its nose out of it because of the fact that they have nukes. It stops people, it stops America from sticking its nose in because we don't want to get nuked. Um so, it's unfortunate. We will have to see what happens, but to be honest, like Iran is like if they're not able to get nuked, if they're not able to get nukes, their only other course of action is to make it so that this hurt like to make this hurt so bad that America is like, okay, we are never going to do that again. Like, like if this fucks our economy up that badly, then America will be like, all right, clearly they have power that we like they do have power and we can't do shit about it. So, uh he can barely hold a phone, much less type that much. I think some things are dictated, but the vast majority is pushed out from the scribes. No, for sure. A lot of it is written by other people. I think most of I think what ends up happening is Trump calls someone into his office. He wants a truth social post made. So he starts like yelling a bunch of shit at this intern or whatever. Like there's some intern or some person who's in charge of the social media, right? Trump calls them into the room and he's like, "You need to go on True Social and you have to tell them right now that we're 5 seconds away from having a deal with Iran. You have to go on there and you have to say we are big and we are strong and we are America and everything that we do is going to be amazing. Everything's great. Everything's wonderful. And if they don't agree to my deals, I'm going to bomb them to Kingdom Kong. They will no longer have a civilization if they don't agree to my terms." And then like the intern or whatever just like voice records everything that Trump says and then takes it out and just like furiously types up the word vomit that Trump said to them and then posts it. That's what I think happens. I'm pretty sure. The war could also just distract from the other terrible things he has done. Well, that was the intention. The intention of the war was to distract from the Epstein files. That was actually the funny part about it is the initial goal of the Iran war was to bring his approval ratings up and distract from the Epstein files, but it did the opposite. You know what I mean? It did the opposite. The better they better not try to unban Freon next. Make the ozone hole great again. so much so much of the unbanning and energy stupidity feels like absurd nostalgia for the 1950s. Yeah, no, I feel that entirely, and it's like I don't understand why we would want to go back to that bullshit either. Like it doesn't make any fucking sense to me. It's so stupid. Um, does the appointment of the new chairman of the Federal Reserve play into this? Yeah. So, if like who's the new chairman? I haven't looked into it too much. So new chairman, Federal Reserve. What is this guy's name? Kevin Warsh. Let's see. What do we know about you? Confirmed. John Fetterman voted for him, of course. Fucking of course. Let's see here. 4-year term. Has pledged to lead a reform-oriented Federal Reserve. Price stability, affordability, leadership, purging inflation. Pro crypto? Oh my god. So is this guy MAGA or like who is this? So is this guy like a MAGA chud? Is that what he is? Well, he is Donald Trump's nominee. So former top Fed official. He's divided, so the most offending votes. Uh, okay, cool. So yeah, this is bad. This guy the new Fed chair person is definitely gonna cause problems. So, like, assuming Trump is directly in charge of the Fed, whenever the executive branch is directly in charge of the Feds, of the Federal Reserve and stuff like that, it causes massive, horrible economic problems. Like, yes, you can pretend like inflation's not happening, and you can try to like keep inflation rates low. But if you're not doing that in line with what's happening in the economy and you cut inflation rates a shit ton while there's all this shit happening, then I mean, I'm just gonna be honest with you. Like, if Trump takes control of the Fed and does what he wants with it, we are going to see periods of hyperinflation. Like we are going to see uh really fucked up levels of inflation. And that's because like inflation has to keep up with what's happening in the economy. If you don't match inflation with what's happening in the economy, it creates some really, really bad problems. Really bad problems. Trump has lived his life wiggling out of sticky situations he forgot or never understood. He can't just unilaterally declare peace and wiggle out of a war like he has with lawsuits. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. That's the point of the Iran war, is that Trump feels like he can just end it whenever he wants, and that's kind of the point about the Truth Social posts. He really does seem to think that if he just yells at them over Truth Social enough, that the Iran civilization will be like, "Oh, Daddy Trump says that we have to stop fighting now, so let's stop fighting." That's not what's going to happen. What's going to happen is that they're going to just keep making it hurt as much as they can. Like, they have absolutely no incentive to open up the Strait of Hormuz right now. Like, literally no incentive at all. Like, it's actually a bad idea for them to do that. If they were to concede right now and give in to the US demands, it would essentially like just reinforce the idea that the US has the upper hand in the situation, which it doesn't. Like, we don't. So, they might as well hold their cards. Like, they've got cards, they might as well hold them and use them. I mean, like, honestly, like, it's so annoying. I like how pagans and Christians seem to live peacefully among each other in Ireland, which is the polar opposite from the United States. And socialism seems to be very popular in Ireland. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, people of Ireland are way better educated about stuff like that. Uh, let's see here. Just keep being who you are. Aw, thank you. That's really nice. You're very sweet. Thank you. It boggles the mind that MAGA doesn't understand that a little, like around 2% inflation is necessary. High is bad, hyper is terrible, but zero inflation to negative inflation is catastrophic. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Exactly. Like, exactly. We need, yes. 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 Like, think about it like this. Let me put it this way. One of the reasons why the economy works is because things right now are cheaper than they ever will be in the foreseeable future, sort of, right? Like, yes, prices go up and down, and sometimes things are more expensive and sometimes things are less expensive. But overall, by and large, the most of the sorry, my brain. Most things that you buy are going to be cheaper now than they will be in the future. And because of that, that incentivizes you to buy those things, right? Like, if you were to think like, "Oh, this truck I want to buy it, but there's going to be, it's going to be cheaper in a year because the new model is going to come out and it's going to be cheaper." Then you would just keep waiting, right? You would be like, "Oh, I'll wait for the cheaper one." And then the new one comes out. It's like, "Oh, I'll wait for the cheaper one." And so the fact that everything is getting more expensive slowly over time creates an economic uh drive for people to spend their money now. Like, you want to buy a car now because when the new one comes out, it's going to be more expensive, or, whatever. And so, and like, I understand that there's like nuance here, right? Like, like, if a car comes out and 3 years pass by, that year of car is going to be cheaper than the new model. But like, the point being is that you're always incentivized to buy, um, something now, because chances are that thing like food or gas or whatever it is going to be more expensive in the future. So buying it now kind of like obviously, like, again, there's nuance, like some new technology, new medicine, stuff like that. There are certain things that come out and are insanely expensive and then deflate in value over time and then are like cheap, right? But generally speaking, if you um yeah. So if we have deflationary pressure where things get less expensive over time, then you kind of never want to buy anything because you're like, oh, I could buy this now, but it'll be cheaper tomorrow. It'll be cheaper tomorrow. It'll be cheaper tomorrow. And then the economy grinds to a halt. Everyone stops spending money. The economy completely collapses. You go from deflationary to hyperinflation, and then you just like the economy just fucking it just shits everywhere all over the place. It's really bad. Really bad. There has never been a year of deflation, only inflation. Yes, and there is a very real reason for that. A very real reason. Also, Das Cougar, welcome. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Uh, 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 uh. The Iran war accomplished a positive for them, a new way to gain funds. Oh, also, this is another thing that I wanted to mention, by the way. The fact that oil and gas is exploding in price is really good for the oil and gas industry. Like I don't want anyone to feel bad for the oil and gas industry. These people are making out like bandits. And actually, I think this is part of the plan. I think that if you're an oil and gas executive, the writing is on the wall. Like you can see that like we're going to move away from oil and gas. Yes, we're still going to have it. We're still going to use it. It's still going to be a part of the world. And it's not going to go away completely. But like we have hit, we have already passed through the era of peak oil and gas, right? Oil and gas, those um those markets have peaked, right? They have already peaked and now they're on the decline, right? And because of that, uh like essentially I think fucking up the oil and gas market as much as they are right now is causing everyone to have to purchase really expensive gas because we do not have alternatives right now, right? Right now everyone's still reliant on oil and gas, but it's also getting way more expensive. So because of the Iran war, all of these companies like ExxonMobil and all these people, they are making insane profits. They are making billions and billions and billions and billions of dollars every week. They're making hand over fist money right now. And honestly, I think part of what they're doing right now is attempting to cash out on the oil and gas industry. Like they see that it's going to come to a halt. They see that it's going to fall apart entirely over the next, I would say over the next 10 to 15 years, the oil and gas industry will completely collapse into like a very minor industry and will be essentially replaced by renewables and nuclear and other sources of energy that are more friendly for the planet and cheaper and better in a lot of different ways. Um, but for now, like these oil and gas executives have kind of a golden opportunity where we're all reliant on it, and so they're just gonna hyperinflate the price of stuff. They're just gonna make it so expensive so that you have to keep buying the oil and gas at this really high price, and so that they can make all the money that they want to right now, cash out and run away with the bag, right? Um, yeah. The Running Man in the '80s movie, a diet soda from a vending machine was $8. Jesus Christ. Yeah, that's one of those examples of something that has gotten cheaper, for sure. Hi, Leah. Happy Pride. Yes, happy Pride, Star Adventure. Thank you for being here. The oil industry is why the stock market is going up and powering 401ks forward like crazy right now. Yes, but that's not, like the stock market, like that's not permanent, right? Like yes, their valuation's going up right now, but that's like a false valuation. It's kind of like how Tesla, like their valuation is like hyperinflated, and there is a point at which Tesla will completely collapse, and like that hyper valuation will collapse, and then all the value that's wrapped up in that, like all of the 401ks and all the stuff that's wrapped up in that is going to get completely fucked. Um, which I'm scared for. I'm really scared for people who are going to need their retirement in the next 10 years because it's going to be a bad time to retire. Do you think the gasoline engine will ever go extinct? Oh, like entirely? No. No. There will always be people who just wanna they just wanna have a gas car because they like the way it sounds or whatever stupid fucking reason they have, right? Like, there will always be people like that. Um, it's just gonna get more expensive and less common. Like, right now, the majority of cars are gasoline and the minority are electric. Over the next 10 years, that's gonna flip, where you're gonna see the majority of cars on the road are gonna be electric and the minority of cars are gonna be gasoline. That's just gonna happen naturally because, like I said, um, like, if you have an electric car right now, you are saving insane amounts of money. Like, if I charge my car, I'm saving, like, $60 every 2 weeks. I'm saving, like, maybe $150 a month on gas, by charging my car, which is a lot, and I have an efficient car. So, like, if you have, like, a gas guzzling, insane 5 mile a gallon truck, you're spending $150 every time you fill up or whatever. Like, that's not sustainable unless you have a high paying job. And a lot of people don't have high paying jobs. So like there's an element of necessity, right? Like there's an element of necessity that people will have to rely on where it's like, hey, I need to get around. I literally can't afford a gas car. Like it's just not going to happen. So like I'm going to go for the electric option. There are like right now there are electric options that are like cheaper than the gas options or like more affordable or about the same, right? So like if you really want an electric vehicle, there are certain companies that can get you one at a pretty decent value, if not the same value as a gas car, but then your continued expenses are going to be cheaper because, you know, you're running it off of electric instead of gas. Older military vehicles used to be able to run in a diesel engine on many types of sources, diesel, veg oil, kerosene, etc. Yeah, yeah, yeah. High performance gas engines are not practical for getting groceries. True. Exactly true. And honestly, like I would love to see a future. Like my future is not electric cars, actually. I think like yeah, sure, electric cars are cool. They're better than gas cars. But what I would like to see are cities and towns and areas developed with bikes and electric vehicles, like personal electric vehicles in mind. Like I would love to see areas that are developed so that you can bike anywhere you need to, so that, like, if you have an e-bike or if you have, like, any kind of, like, electric scooter or anything like that, you're able to take that to the store, or take that to wherever you need to go. Now, obviously, like, if you're buying, like, a shit ton of groceries, you probably need, like a wagon for your e-bike or you need like a car or something, right? Like there are instances where you might need a car. But I think that it would be really sick in my future. My best kind of future would involve a future that um people are able to just like ride their e-bikes and ride their wherevers to wherever they need to go. There'd be a lot less deaths. If people were walking and using bikes and shit to go places, there'd be a lot less, you know, obviously a lot less death involved with that. But it would also be healthier. It would encourage like American like developments to be less spread out and to kind of like, you know, bring things a little bit closer together so that you don't have to like travel 10 miles to fucking go to the movie theater or whatever. But yeah. Pog, Leah streaming. Oh, welcome, Moss P. Welcome. Diesel is cheaper to produce than gas. We used to have more diesel cars in the older days because the price of diesel was practical. Yeah, not anymore though. Not anymore. They only do that in European countries for some reason. Well, yeah, that's because in Europe they developed public transportation before they developed the personal vehicle. In America, it was backwards. We developed the personal vehicle before we developed public transportation. And so we sort of developed our cities around the idea that everyone's going to have a car to drive around. But um yeah, I like in Europe, you know, they have trains and buses and all sorts of shit that was already developed. So, by the way, my music project didn't go as planned, but I was still able to graduate anyways. So I'm feeling very thankful. Aw, So I'm happy for you. I'm happy that you were able to graduate. I'm happy that it worked out. Maybe it wasn't the best case scenario, but it sounds like it still worked out for you. And so I'm happy to hear that. Thank you for sharing, by the way. I'm happy that you're happy to be here. And yeah. Don't electric vehicles take up to an hour to charge and only last 4 hours till you have to recharge them? Well, okay. Saying it lasts 4 hours is not like, it's miles, right? Like, you get miles out of it. And most electric vehicles now, like, if you're riding, if you're like in a uh like a standard electric vehicle in the modern era, they can go like 100, 200 miles before you have to charge them. Like, you 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 will be able to do literally everything you need without charging your car on a daily basis. Like, you will charge it at night. You never have to charge it during the day. The only time electric vehicles have any kind of issue is if you're gonna do, like, extremely long rides. Like, if you're gonna travel cross country, then yeah, you're gonna have to travel, like, 200, maybe 300 miles or so, and then you're gonna have to stop for, like, an hour and a half, 2 hours, charge up, and then you're gonna have to travel another 200, 300 miles, stop for another hour and a half or so, and charge up. So, yeah, like, if you have an electric vehicle, there's a little more start and stop involved. Like, you are going to have to take more time to charge it, but that is only if you're doing like an insanely long drive. Um EVs used to have low range, but it is good. Fast DC charging is a thing now too, 20 minutes. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. It's not like an hour and a half anymore. That's right. I forgot about that. They've upgraded a lot of charging stations where yeah, it takes like maybe 20, 30 minutes. And also like, you know, yeah. You can, like, do stuff during that time too. Like, you could order DoorDash, or you could walk to the nearby store, or you could do whatever while it's charging, take a nap. Motorcycles, scooters, mopeds might explode in popularity if prices continue. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, I think we would start seeing things more like in Asia, where there's a lot of mopeds, there's a lot of bikes, there's a lot of stuff like that. Thank you. I'm happy to share the project was still a great learning experience. Yeah, anything that doesn't go super well, I always think is a good learning experience. And like, that's the best thing to do is if something doesn't go well, is to just take it and be like, okay, what can I learn from this? How can I work on things for next time so that things are a little better? I think that that's huge. Huge, 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 huge. That's fascinating. Great that it's improved so much. Oh yeah, EVs are like in a really good place. Like, honestly, like, it makes sense. Like, look, if you look at the if you look at the broad thing that's happening right now, like I said, oil and gas is getting more expensive. Electric vehicles are getting better. Renewable energy is getting cheaper. Like, we are moving towards a green future, whether the lobbyists want us to or not. Like, that is a reality of where we are in the world. And so, like, we are moving in that direction. It's just a matter of like when, how long it takes to transition, all that stuff. Now, of course, we are doing everything we can to delay the transition to renewables and to electric infrastructure, but um it's only a matter of time, right? It's kind of like gas stoves, right? Like, the gas stove industry doesn't want us to swap over to electric induction whatevers. But like, that's what we got to do. That's what we got to do. And so, like, there are going to be some people who stick with gas, and there's going to be people who fight it and whatever. But fundamentally, yeah, like, yeah. Driving electric vehicles is pretty good in the United States. It's harder in Canada, where cities are a lot more spread out and the electric vehicle industry is a lot less developed. Yeah, 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 yeah. That's very true. It really depends on where you live. So like, you might want to do like, if you're not in the US, or if you're in the US but you live in a specific part of the US, like, there are certain areas where there's like a sort of like charging desert, right? Like, there are certain points of the US where it's harder to find a charging station. And that was actually part of the Build Back Better legislation that was passed by Biden, was investments in infrastructures for charging stations and stuff like that. And there have been investments there, but not nearly enough. Like we need way more charging stations in the US. And unfortunately, like we're not going to get there until like basically once gas stations uh like gas stations will slowly start converting to charging stations, right? Like they will start replacing fuel pumps with charging stations, or they will just add charging stations onto the side or whatever. And slowly you will start to see more and more charging stations pop up at like gas stations or grocery stores or wherever else. And eventually it'll hit a point where we have so fucking many all over the place that you don't ever have to worry about charging your EV, because like everywhere you go, like imagine you go to the grocery store, it takes you drive for 10 miles, you plug in your car while you grocery shop, and you charge back the 10 miles that you spent getting there, so that by the time you get home, you like have only spent 10 miles of range, and then you plug it back in at home and charge it again, and like like we're going to get to the point where you never have range anxiety. You never have to worry about charging your, like, oh, when am I going to charge my car? How am I going to get my car charged? Because it'll just be like, oh, I'm just going to stop right here and charge my car. It's kind of like how, you know, if you're driving a fuel, like a gas vehicle, like you can pretty much ignore your gas tank until it's like almost empty, and then be like, oh shit, I really need gas. And then you can look up a gas station on your GPS, and there's usually one close enough by that you can just drive there, fill up, and you're good to go. Like you don't have to like start your, you know what I mean? Like you don't have to like be like, oh, where am I going to stop for gas in 200 miles? Like you don't have to think about that. And that's kind of where we're going to move in terms of like electric vehicles over the course of things. Is you're gonna move to the point where it's like you no longer have to really think about it. Like I know for actually one thing that I've noticed, when you're driving down the highway, there are certain states where there are large gaps between fueling stations, and on certain highways they will tell you, they'll be like, hey, there's not a gas station for the next 150 miles. So if you don't have, like, there, be warned that if you're low on gas, you need to fill up right now, otherwise you're gonna run out. And so like I feel like there, that'll all be considered and built into the infrastructure and stuff like that. Right now, I think hybrid vehicles are the way to go. I would say that hybrid vehicles are good. They get really good gas mileage. And like if you get a good hybrid vehicle, you'll either have really good gas mileage, or if you get one of those like hybrid electric, like there are certain hybrids that have a full electric motor built into it. Those are pretty good too, because you get the hybrid gas efficiency, but you can also charge it. Electric bikes can be a decent middle ground for around town travel, cheaper than an EV, but still decent range. Yeah. That's what I've mentioned e-bikes quite a few times this stream, and I do think e-bikes are really good. Can you charge your electric unicycle at an EV station? Yeah, I can charge my electric unicycle at any EV station or any outlet. My electric unicycle, I can plug it into literally any outlet. So like I could stop at a speedway, and I don't know if you all know this, but like on the outside of most speedways, there's like a little outlet that you can plug into. Now, granted, I don't know if you're really supposed to use those or not, but there are external outlets at a lot of like gas stations and stuff, and you can plug into those. So like if I ever was riding my unicycle and needed to charge it, I would just stop at one of those places, or I would find like a little local restaurant and be like, "Hey, can I bring this in and like charge this like at an outlet while I'm eating?" Like, hey, I'm a paying customer. Can I charge my unicycle while I'm eating? And most people, like most places, are actually really cool with that. And also, uh, there are a lot of restaurants along the bike trails in Ohio. So if I'm riding along a bike trail, I can just like stop at a restaurant, and they see bicyclists all the time. So it's not like I'm gonna ask a question that they're gonna be like completely unprepared for. It's not like if I'm like, hey, can I charge my electric vehicle, my little personal electric vehicle? They're gonna be like, ah, get the fuck out of here. What do you think this is? You know what I mean? The only problem with EV is the part prices and battery costs on used vehicles. That's why hybrids are currently higher in popularity. Yeah. Yeah. Yes, EV part prices are expensive, and battery costs are expensive as well. The benefit of EVs is that they have less moving parts, so it's actually cheaper. Like electric vehicles require less maintenance than gas-powered vehicles because the motors, and engines are electric vehicle motors and engines are a lot simpler than gas. Gas is a lot more complicated, a lot more moving parts, a lot more can go wrong. Um, Currently, yeah, battery, I think, like, the bottleneck for EVs are batteries. Like, we have not really developed battery technology much in the past. Shoot, I don't even fucking know. Like, since like, batteries have not really developed much in the past 20 or 30 years at all. They have developed a little bit, but, like, once we move to lithium-ion batteries, we have not really worked on improving the technology pretty much at all, which is unfortunate because batteries are really inefficient, and very wasteful and expensive. So, like, if we can develop better battery technology that's cheaper, maybe a little more efficient, a little less uh shitty, that would also be insanely helpful. Now, I do have to say, I have to go do my injection in about 20 minutes. Um, so I'm probably gonna have to wrap up here. I've been going for over 2 hours now. I had a great time streaming. I really really loved stream tonight. It was great. It's so nice to be back. Thank you all for being here, for liking the YouTube stream. Oh my gosh, we have 60 likes on the YouTube stream. That's amazing. Thank you all so much for that. I have all of my links. Oh, I thought I pinned it. Hold on. So I've got my link tree. Oh, it is pinned. Okay, it just wasn't showing me. All right, yeah. You can see my link tree pinned in both chats. Go ahead and click that link to find all my social medias. I post on Instagram quite frequently, so if you're like missing me, if I'm like at a festival or something, if you wanna check up on me, Instagram is probably the thing that I post on the most frequently. Like, I try to put up a video at least once a week on Instagram, if not maybe once every few days. I post my flow arts practice and stuff on there, which is really cool. Um, let's see here. Just a thought, didn't we go through a chip shortage during CV? Yet now we want vehicles that rely on chips. I mean, look, we need domestic chip manufacturing, which is part of the Build Back Better stuff that Biden tried to get through that Trump has murdered. So we were gonna work on that. Like, chips were gonna be produced here in the US. Like, we had major investment in chip manufacturing that has been canceled. So yay! All good, Leah. I'm glad I could catch the last bits of your stream. Yeah, sorry, Mosp, I'm not able to go much longer. I really appreciate you being here. If you want to check out the rest of the stream, you can watch the VOD. We had a lot of really good conversations throughout the stream. So, if you want to check it out, feel free. If not, no pressure. It's totally up to you. Would love to see you back. Would love to see you all back. Thank you all for being here and being so engaged and being so lovely. I love streaming. It makes me really happy to see all of you here. Um, and happy Pride. I'm really excited uh about Pride this year. I think that it's important that we, have a big display of our joy and the fact that we're happy to be alive and that we are not going anywhere. So I encourage all of you to live joyfully and be proud of who you are, and try not to let the climate get to you too much. I know it's tough out there, and, like, I know that we've had some tough news lately. Um yeah. Sodium ion batteries may be promising. Also, happy Pride, y'all. Oh yeah, I've seen stuff lately about how, like, sodium ion batteries were actually, like, the inferior technology for a long time, but some recent developments have made sodium ion batteries, like, more possible. And so that's interesting. I would love to look more into that and see how that's developing. Anyway, love y'all. Hope you're all doing well. I will catch you all in the next one. I'll be back Wednesday. And on Wednesday we're gonna record a video release for this weekend. So I will come up with something to record by then. And until then, I hope that you all stay as happy and healthy as you can. And remember to drink some water, hydrate or dihydrate. Not everybody.